Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome once again to our third Arabic class from this Medina Arabic course, book one. We've done basically two short classes, and tonight, inshallah, hopefully, if everybody can partake in the exercises that we are going to do here, then maybe we can do a little bit more than just a couple of words on a page, because we can do this one, page 2, and this bit here, the third exercise. It's all basically straightforward, the same things which we have done in the previous two lessons. So therefore, it's not like it's going to be something new to you per se. Now, regardless of what your current level of Arabic is, you are more than welcome to take part in the exercises. It's not to say that, well, I'm on a much higher level of Arabic than this, so it's like unfair. No, it's not. Through you answering, it helps and gives others the courage to also take part and, you know, give their answer, even if their answer may not necessarily be correct. But through mistakes, that's how a person grows. So well, whoever you are, whatever it may be, don't feel shy to send in any answer on anything. If you get it wrong, at least you applied your mind to it, and at least you can see where you made the mistake in order so that you can make it better next time. So that's where we are focusing on our Arabic. And like I said, we're taking it at a slow pace, but at the same time, it's also important that we do the effort so that we can see reap the results at the end of the day. So yeah, we are starting on this 7th page of the Medina Arabic course, book 1. If you read over here, it's page 7, even though it's our 3rd page as far as our lessons are concerned, because the first few pages was simply the introduction and the cover of the book and things of that nature. So anyway, let us begin. Bismillah walhamdulillahi wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. So he starts out the lesson by saying tamrinun, exercise, singular form, exercise. So tamrinun, and he gives the digits. So obviously we will learn how you pronounce the numbers and stuff at a later stage, because numbers can be masculine and feminine based obviously on the things that you are speaking about. One woman versus one man, you wouldn't use the same word both ways, because you got to correspond in gender. But anyway, we leave that for another time. So we're just focusing on the word tamrinun, which means exercise. So he shows you a picture on the left of a key, in case you aren't able to recognize what this picture here is. So he shows you a picture of a key and he asks, Ma hadha? What is this? So now, if you, like I said, you're more than welcome. Anybody who knows the answer, you can send me the answer here now during class on Zoom. You're more than welcome to do so. What the Arabic word for key is. So if you happen to know it, you can send it that way. But you're supposed to be able to, per se, you're supposed to look at the picture and you must recognize from the picture what it is. So you know what the Arabic word for, okay, so you look at the picture, you see it's a key. So it's a key. So what is the Arabic word for key? And then what response would you say to the question which has been asked? So, okay, we've got the 3 answers given in, all 3 are 100%. هذا مفتاح مفتاح هذا مفتاح. All 3 are correct. So the word for a key is miftahun as far as we are concerned, because of the pronouncing the endings of the words. So miftahun, and when you reply, the question is, what is this? So your reply is, this is a key. So هذا مفتاح is 100% the correct answer. The next one, he's showing you a picture of a book. So book is actually very easy. So he asks, Ma hadha? What is this? Again, like I say, I don't need to necessarily repeat the question each time that you can send the answer. If a question is posed, you can send the answer straight away. So yes, answers which came in all are 100% correct. Hada kitabun is correct. It shows you a picture of a book. A book in Arabic is kitabun. So hada kitabun. This is a book. 100% correct. The next one, we're moving on. Let's move at a bit of a faster pace here now, because we've picked up some momentum. Third picture on the left, he shows you a picture of a pen, and he asks, Ma hada? What is this? And the answer which comes in is correct once more. هذا قلم. This is a pen. قلم with a qaf means a قلم, a pen. هذا قلم. This is a pen. Now, as you can see, the exercises is testing you on nothing more than what you had already learned. So the answers seem repetitive because the way that this book works is it gives you a lot of practice with a little bit of theory. So as you move, you are bringing it into your learning one time. It's not some theory which you are putting away for a later stage. You're keeping everything here in-house. As you do it, you bring it into effect. So yeah, let's move on to our fourth question. The fourth question over here, it's a jar, or at least I should say it's a door, which is a jar. But the question simply is, it's a door. So he asks you, Mahava, what is this? And the answer which he sent in is correct once more. Hada babun, hada babun, hada babun. This is a door. Babun meaning a door. So hada babun, this is a door. Like I said, let's focus just on what we are doing at the moment. We are not focusing on plurals. We are not focusing on feminine forms. We're not focusing on anything of that. Like I say, we got a big puzzle in front of us, and little by little we are putting the pieces in where they belong to make up this whole big puzzle. So try not to look at the pieces which you can't see, and let us focus on the pieces which we are seeing so that we can put this little bits in. You know, when you start a puzzle, people know, anybody who's done a puzzle, you know, you start from the corners because you can recognize a corner anyway. So that corner fits there, that corner fits there, and so on. That's how you work your puzzle. So here we are looking at our corners, the parts that we can recognize, so we focus on that. So that was our fourth question. The fifth one which he puts forth, he shows a picture of a house and he asks, Mahava, what is this? And the answer given once more is correct. هذا بيت. هذا بيت. It is correct. This is a house. بيت means a house. So هذا بيت. This is a house. 100% correct. And our last one for this page, he shows you a picture of a chair and he asks, ما هذا? What is this? And the answer given is هذا كرسي. هذا كرسي 100%. And the answers which was given is accurate to the point what I mentioned last week about the typo in the book. So good to see that every answer came in 100%. So هذا كرسي is most definitely the correct answer. This is a chair. So that's the end of our seventh page. It's the end of exercise number 1. We move on to our next page because, you know, we've only spent 8 minutes or at least 5 minutes or 4 minutes for the exercise itself. It's simple, it's straightforward. Anybody can understand it. We've done the first lesson. We did the second lesson. This is our third lesson. It's simply asking you about what we had just done. So it's still fresh in your mind and you are able to bring it into effect here in this exercise. So now, tamreenun, exercise number 2 this time. So he shows you a picture on the left. This time he switches it around, changes it up a little bit. So he shows you a picture of a masjid and he asks, Ahada baytun, is this a house? And this is now up to you to give the answer. Okay, 2 answers are correct. The third one is incorrect, though we can get away with it by saying it is correct to a degree. So, La hadha masjidun. No, this is a masjid. That is the actual answer which is required from a person, that no, this is a masjid. But the answer which was given is Na'am hadha baytun. Yes, this is a house. Is correct from the angle if you say the masajid are the houses of Allah. Hada baytullahi. This is the house of Allah. You would not be doing anything wrong. So from that angle, we can accept the answer as being correct. But as far as the book is concerned, with the answer he actually was wanting from you was to say La hada masjidun. No, this is a masjid. All right, moving on now. The next one, he shows a picture of a pen and he asks, Ahada miftahun. Is this a key? And the answer which you give to this is لا هذا قلم لا هذا قلم لا هذا قلم. 100%. The correct, like I say, always the transliteration is it up to the individual how you prefer to transliterate your words. no, I have no problem with it. As long as you are able to pronounce the word correctly at the end of the day. But personally, I prefer to translate qalamun, a qaf with a Q as opposed to a K, because, otherwise a person, you're reading the Quran and then people spell it with a K, then it become like the Quran. And a person who don't know and reads your transliteration may end up reading the qaf as a kaf. So if for yourself you know a kaf and a qaf, the difference between it from a transliteration perspective, I got no problem. As long as when you speak the word, you're going to be pronouncing it properly, then I have no qualms with it. But personally, I would advise, since we are in the early days, focus on getting your transliteration to be more uniform, to have some more uniformity to it. Because how will you tell the difference now between your kaf and your calf, unless you're going to be spelling your calf now with a C in order for you to tell the difference. But if you're going to be writing calf with a K and calf with a K, now you come later on and you're looking at your transliterations and you see two words, both written with a K, how will you know which one is which? So, even though it's fine, like I said, as long as you are able to understand the transliteration system that you are using, but I would advise to keep to a more uniform thing where you can tell the individual words apart so that you will know which one is which. And so that if anybody else happen to read your work, they'll know that this is a qaf and not a kaf. But anyway, the question was, Ahada miftahun, is this a key? And the answer which was sent in by everybody is 100% correct, that La hada qalamun, no, this is a pen. And now our next question. The next question is shows you a picture of a folded up shirt and it asks, Ahada qamisun, is this a shirt? And the answer given is Na'am hada qamisun, Na'am hada qamisun, Na'am hada qamisun. 100% all correct. And that is the most apt answer to give to the question itself. You could simply say Na'am with nothing more than that. Is this a shirt? Yes. Yes, obviously you asked me and I said yes. But where this comes in, that you would say Na'am hada qamisun. Yes, this is a shirt. This comes from the point of what you would say more from a point of respect in your speech. When you are when you give a person short shrift, you cut him short. You don't either yes, no type answers. Then a person say you being rude. So even in Arabic, even though you could say هذا قميص نعم, it does not necessarily denote uh, rudeness in any way or form, but it shows a higher degree of respect when you are dealing with a person. When you would reply, he asks you, is this a shirt? And you reply in turn with a full sentence, Naam, hada qamisun. Yes, this is a shirt. All right. Our next question is basically on the same lines, and he asks, Ahada najmun. Is this a star? And you'll see the picture on the left, and it is up to you to reply. And the answers given in is Na'am hada najmun, Na'am hada najmun, 100% correct. Yes, this is a star. And with that being that, that's the end of the 8th page and the end of our second exercise. Now we come to our third exercise. This third exercise, it says tamrinun, once more, exercise. So this exercise, you'll come across him throughout the book, basically, which is iqra waktub, read and write. Now, this comes from the point where if you're actually doing the book in a madrasa perspective, where you're going to be verbally with the teacher, then you would literally read it out and you would write it down in your homework as well. So, you got no problem from that angle. You are literally able to read and write as the exercise requires of you. But if not, and the way we're doing it here now, where you are more focusing on the writing part and not the reading, or at least not the verbally speaking it out, then in that case, let's just focus on the transliteration of these words. So he says, read and write. Now, what's the point of these things here? If you look at these 9 sentences he gives you over here, what is different about them? If you look at them over here, all 9 of them, and you look at this previous page that we have just passed by over here, what is different if you look at it from this page and the page before and the one before it? What has changed? If you can't see anything which is different, that's actually something good. If you can see something which is different, that too is good. So what is different in here? All of these words, they have cut the harakat of the words. Yes, 100% correct. There are no i'rabs. I'rab is another way of saying the harakat. Fatha, kasra, dhamma, zabr, zair, pesh, dappan, or whatever term you prefer to use for these things. So yes, 100% correct that there are no i'rabs. So what this shows you, you know, as a person who don't know Arabic, when you open up a kitab and there are no, it's also known as tashkil, the fatha kasra dhamma. So when you open up a kitab and there's no harakat in the kitab, then you look at it and you're like, I can't tell heads or tails of this. I'm used to reading the Quran where there's zabr, zair, pesh all over the place. So, you know, I can read it in that angle. But now when I'm looking at the word and there's no fatha kasra dhamma anywhere, I don't know how to pronounce it. But here you notice, he taught you the words. Now he's bringing it into practice over here. So now what it requires from you is that you had to have put emphasis on your exercises to have memorized these words, because once you've memorized the word, then you can look at the word and know he's not asking you anything outside the scope of what we have done. So you know we have done this word before. We did the word. I'll do just the first one here. For example, hada maktabun. That's what he's wanting from you. Hada maktabun. So maktabun, it's not miktabun, it's not muktabun, it's muktibun, no other way, not muktib or any, you're not going to read it any other way, but maktabun, because that's what we learn. So he's asking you based on what we learned. But what this puts into your subconscious mind is the ability to start reading Arabic without the need for the harakat. So you'll notice whenever he comes with the iqra waktub exercise, he'll take the harakat of the words, so that you are reading the words without the tashkil, the i'rab, the harakat, the fatha, kasra, dhamma, zabr, zair, pesh, whichever term you prefer. He takes it off, and that's how your Arabic grows. That's why these exercises, every one of them are important in their own right. None of them is like, it's not important, we can skip it. It actually has a real benefit to it at the end of the day, because little by little, it's building up your Arabic. And so you will see it for yourself over here. Depending on the level of your Arabic and depending on the amount of memorization that you have put in over the last 2 lessons of the vocab words that we have done, you should be able to. And this is the thing. If you can't answer these questions, it means you need to do more homework. If you can answer it, well and good, it means you're well and up to date with the class. So posing the questions over here. The first one was هذا مكتب. It's up to you to read the second one, or at least in this case here, to transliterate the second one, and the third and the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth. Anybody who has the ability, you are more than welcome to transliterate and send any one of them in at any time. So yeah, I'll keep on speaking, and you can just send in them as you do them. So, okay, we've got one which came in here now, هذا masjidun. That is indeed the second one, 100% correct. Next one came in, هذا قلم for the third one. Again, perfect, no problem with that. Fourth one, هذا سرير, excellent, no problem. The fifth one is quite straightforward, because it can't be read any other way but one way. And it's more of a question than anything else, but anyhow, he's not asking you a question, he's asking you to simply to read what is written here. So ahada baytun will not be correct. Mahada would be the correct answer. What is this? He's not showing you a picture or anything. He's just wanting you to see that you are reading the word mahada, not hada or hadi, even though it's a alif. Some people don't know that it can only be pronounced as a. But anyway, all he's wanting in this exercise is to see that you can recognize the words which we have done, so you can pronounce them in the correct manner. That's all. So giving the answer as mahada, 100% correct. Okay, the next, okay, maybe I jumped the wrong thing. Ahada baytun is correct, because that would be the first one in the, if you in the third line. So yes, that is the correct answer. And hada kursiyun, correct. Although like coming back to the transliteration thing again, I would say do spell your kursiyun with 2 Y's rather than one, because you can have kursiyun and kursiyun. One denotes that there's a tashdid, and one denotes that there isn't a tashdid. Like, for example, let's take the word baytun. Yeah, if you were to spell it Baytun, baytun. So kursiyun with 2 Y's tends to show a tashdid, because that's what the tashdid does. It brings it a double a word in it. So kursiyun would be the better transliteration to use, as opposed to as kursiyun. But anyway, as long as your transliteration system allows you at the end of the day to pronounce the word correctly, that's is what actually matters. But like I say, it's also important if you can get your transliteration to be more uniform at the same time. Okay, next one, ahada baytun, 100% correct. Now there's lastly just 2 sentences left, and that will be the end of the third exercise. So we've got number 8 and number 9. Anybody who can give? Okay, given in la hada masjidun, 100% correct, and ma hada miftahun, 100% correct. So everyone, the answers which you have given here, all of these are absolutely correct. Now, maybe you feel that this is a basic beginner's exercise. You know, like I said, it doesn't matter what your level of Arabic is. You have taken the time out, you've done the exercise. It brushes up on your Arabic if you are more advanced. And if you have not done the exercises before, then it's you growing in your Arabic in any case. So whichever way, it's a win-win situation. That was the end of the third exercise, and it is where we will stop for tonight, inshallah, because the next point from here on is a next sub chapter dealing with a new lesson. Let's just see. Okay, the next one. I think let's finish this page off, since we do happen to have a little bit more time. It will open your mind up to one additional aspect of Arabic. But anyway, you all did excellent with regards to answering the questions of the exercises. That shows that you are up to date. You are able to, you've accomplished everything that is wanted from you in this beginning part of the book. Now we move on forward. He's bringing you in something new because he expects by now you've understood everything. And I cannot stress this enough. I always stress it, and I'll stress it once more. If you haven't understood it, you can send me a message on WhatsApp. You can send me a message on here. I'll explain it over and over again, because the minute we move on to this point, he's never going to come back to explaining the previous lesson anymore. He expects that by now you know it, you understand it, ins and outs of it, so that we can move on to something else, because you've already known that which has passed by. If you don't understand it now, we're only going to move further, and you're going to fall further and further and further behind. So always keep up to date and ask as many times as you need to get your understanding of the things correct. Anyhow, so now we are moving on to our next one. So he says, Man hada. Who is this? Now, man is not related to gender. So you can say man hada or man hadihi if you were speaking about a woman. Okay, the answer was given already. Man hada, who is this? And that is indeed the correct answer. It wasn't exactly an exercise, but it's the correct answer nonetheless. So man hada, who is this? That's the subject matter of the lesson that we are doing right now. Man hada, who is this? He taught you ma hada, so now he's teaching you man hada. So he shows you a picture over here of a person with a stethoscope on, and he says, Man hada, who is this? He then gives you the answer by saying, Hada tabibun. And this is where it's necessary to focus on the portions that we are seeing in front of us, because hada is masculine. Tabibun is masculine. You can get a female doctor, and the word would show feminine accordingly. So therefore, we are focusing on what is currently being done. Man hada, who is this? Hada tabibun, this is a doctor. More specifically, obviously in English, this is a doctor, it does not denote any gender. But in Arabic, hada tabibun denotes 100% male. You know, you can't mistake it for anything else but a male when you read the Arabic of the word. So hada tabibun, this is a doctor. This one man is a male doctor. If you were to really break it down word for word like that, because this one man, tabibun, a male doctor. This one man is a male doctor. That's how you would break it down in reality. Moving on to the next one, man hadha, who is this? Yeah, if you look on the left of it, hadha waladun. Obviously, when you read this book, you're not reading down in this way, you're reading across. So from right to left. Man hadha tabibun. Man hadha waladun. This is supposed to be a lollipop in his hand. So man hadha, who is this? Hadha waladun is one big boy over there. But anyway, hadha waladun, this is a boy. So waladun is the word for a boy. So tabibun is a male doctor and waladun is a boy. Obviously, you don't get a girly boy. So hadha waladun, this is a boy. Let's do our last two and we end our lesson for tonight. He says, Man hadha, who is this? Hadha talibun. Okay, obviously from the picture over here, you couldn't tell what this is. Maybe it's a doctor with his bag going off somewhere. Maybe it's a man going off to work with his tiffin. You don't know. But any case, Man hadha, who is this? Hadha talibun. This is a student. Talibun means a student. So this is actually somebody heading off to madrasa, and that is his bag with his kitabs in that he's heading off. Or it could be somebody going off to school, and that's his school bag. Whichever the case may be, whichever one you prefer, the same word would be used at the end of the day. Except one would be referred to as a talib ilm or talibul ilm, to use the Arabic term, a seeker of knowledge, of Islamic knowledge, and the other one would be talib of whether you call it mathematics or anything other. Whichever other profession you prefer to use. Any case, moving on to the next picture. He shows a picture of something and he asks, Ahada waladun. Is this a boy? No lollipop anywhere here. So the answer which is given is La hada rajulun. Ahada waladun. Is this a boy? La. No. Hada rajulun. This is a man. So you've learned here, tabibun, one profession, a doctor. Hada talibun, this is a student, two professions, doctor and student. And you learn two nouns, waladun, a boy, rajulun, a man. So, you know, when you come across the word again next time, you will know to say the word as rajulun, not rajilun, not anything else, because each of these words, if you say rajilun, it means something else. It's a totally different word. So the word is rajulun and waladun, talibun, tabibun. You can't change the word around or it changes into something else. So you focus on it. You've done a new vocab for today. Talibun, which you will add to your vocab book, a male student. Rajulun, obviously a male, an adult male. Tabibun, a doctor, a male doctor to be specific. Waladun, a boy. Obviously, like I said, there's no girl boy, gender fluid boy, it's simply just a boy. These are the new vocab that we have done. We've done 3 exercises and then we've learned the usage of the word man, which means who, and we've added 4 new additional words to our vocab. Tabibun, waladun, talibun, and rajulun. And if you jot those down in your vocab book, inshallah, you'll see how your vocab grows. The lesson continues on into the next page, but obviously Zoom is saying that time is almost up, so therefore we will stop on this point, inshallah, and that happens to be the end of the 9th page. So from our next class, inshallah, we'll continue here from the beginning of page 10, which will now be the continuation of the same exercise. In all essence, we are still dealing with lesson number 1 as far as the book is concerned. Even though this was our 3rd lesson, we'll do our 4th and 5th lesson probably still, and still be doing with lesson 1 as far as the book is concerned. Because obviously in a school situation, in a madrasa situation, they'll give you a lot more work than the little bit that we are doing at the time. But we are doing it at a slower pace so that everybody can be able to take the time to learn and understand and comprehend and ask questions and stuff like this here. So we're not rushing through things, so that everybody has the ability to understand and not feel I'm left out, I can't follow up, and the rest of things as it go. But anyhow, that being that, if there are no questions, then we will stop on this point here, inshallah. I'll give a couple of seconds just in case anybody happens to have a question. If not, then we will stop for here for tonight, inshallah. All right, seems like nobody's typing anything. So in that case, we will stop for tonight, inshallah, on this point. Like I say, next week, same time, same place, 9 p.m. South African time, 8 p.m. UK time, whichever else part in the world you are, just work out accordingly what your timings will be. And the link as every week, the link for each class remains the same. So next week, we will reuse the same Arabic class link, and the week for after that, and after that, and after that, inshallah ta'ala. But that being that, we end on this point here. Until next time, wa sallallahu wa sallama wa baraka ala nabiyyina Muhammad, subhanallahi wa bihamdihi, subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.